Arlette presents Show Me Your Noobs. You'll see the finest new entertainers performing burlesque, drag, and a variety of acts that will tease, titillate, and delight you. We are here every third Sunday of the month. Come catch the most raved about show in New Orleans that no one has ever heard of until now. Show Me Your Noobs. It's the perfect night out, whether you're a burlesque regular or sharing your first time with us. Show Me Your Noobs will leave you breathless.
For more information on Show Me Your Noobs, go to the Always Lounge.
This is Ron Richardson with Redefining Ability. This week we're talking about black men and mental health. Mental health is an essential part of overall well-being for many black men, yet it remains an overlooked and often stigmatized topic. While conversations about mental health have grown more common in recent years, black men continue to face unique social, cultural, and systemic barriers that make seeking help difficult. I am speaking directly to all my brothers, and I am telling you to take charge of your mental health and open up about the issue that you may be going through. There is no shame in showing weakness or being vulnerable. This is Ron Richardson with Redefining Ability. For more information about Redefining Ability, you can contact me at richardsonronald024@gmail.com. richardsonronald024@gmail.com. And remember, healing and recovery start with you.
In a world full of content, standing out is everything, and that is where Mr. Byron Hadley comes into play. If you need professional photography, cinematic video, or scroll-stopping video, it is time to give Byron Shoots in Motion a call so he can bring your vision to life, frame by frame. For more information, you can call Byron Hadley at 346-365-4379. That's 346-365-4379, or follow him on Instagram at Byron_shoots_in_-motion. Byron_shoots_in_-motion. Byron Shoots in Motion. Capture with purpose, delivered in motion.
I'm Wendell Pierce. Thanks for making WBOK your station. WBOK.
Ron Richardson here. If you are like me, that means you love the feeling of getting a fresh haircut and shave. If you do, then you should check out my friends Eddie and Dana Bunch at First Impressions Barber and Beauty Salon, specializing in hairstyles for men, women, and children. If you want to make a good first impression, you should check out First Impressions Barber and Beauty Salon, located at 618 Westwood Drive in Marrero, or call 504-341-6777. Remember, it's never too late to make that first impression at First Impressions Barber and Beauty Salon.
Thanks for listening to Conversations with Ron Richardson, live on WBOK, and listen online at WBOK1230.com. Now, back to Ron.
Welcome back. This is Conversations with Ron Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com and also on YouTube. Remember, guys, if you want to find out more information about Conversations with Ron Richardson and yours truly, you can find me on social networking. Just search for the Ron Richardson Facebook page. You can also find me on Instagram. Just search for Ronald_Richardson_Jr. on Instagram. I also have a secondary Instagram page. It's Ronnie_Richardson_Jr. on Instagram. And I'm also on TikTok at Ronald_Richardson_Jr. And I'm also on LinkedIn, same name. And Substack. I'm new to Substack, but I am all over social networking. Brother James, tell the people where they can get in contact with you.
You can contact me simply by, I don't know. I wasn't really ready for that question because, my name is so common that it's hard for you just to do a Google search or a search on social media for me.
Yeah.
But you can look up Run Astro Run, RUNASTRORUN.
Yeah.
You can see me that on either TikTok. On TikTok. I'm on Oswald Cobblepot. For those of you who are DC fans, those of you who know about who the Penguin really is and his real name, so that is another way that you can find me. But I'm really not a social media person. I just post for the church.
Right.
I post a little bit for myself and for my kids, but other than that, this, like I said, it's my first time actually going live on TikTok right now.
Right.
So, I'm trying to get up with the young ones right now.
Well, man, like I said, man, I appreciate that because you carried me through a situation. We're going to just leave that right where it is.
No worries.
All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, Brother Anthony Germaid, man, tell the people where they can get in contact with you, all right?
Yes, please.
Welcome back.
Yeah, sure. I can be reached. I'm on Facebook, just under my name, Anthony Germaid. I have a business email, CarmenLineLearning@gmail.com. That's with a K, Karman line, Line, learning at gmail.com. That's my professional development business email. And I can be reached on Instagram at Anthony Germaid Media.
We were talking about so many. James touched on so many topics, man. So I want to backtrack a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about emotional intelligence and setting boundaries. One of the things that you said in that last segment was people whose emotional intelligence hasn't matured. You said that they have a tendency to isolate themselves. So I wanted you to expound on that a little bit more, if you can.
Right. Especially if they're going through some particular life challenge, that's stressing them out. And as I mentioned, isolation is not good for anyone, any gender, any age, any population. And so one of the key aspects and skills with emotional intelligence is the ability to communicate. Okay, and that doesn't mean you have to be a great public speaker or anything like that, but definitely communicating with people, and that's a way to break boundaries, of course. Let's say if you're at a networking event and you're a little shy and you want to, there's a boundary there of talking to other professionals, like in the workplace, and that's one way to do it. Just being strong, being confident. And it takes a long time. As I mentioned, I was a very shy individual until I was probably in my early 40s. And I realized, well, that's not getting me anywhere. I got to make some changes. So
Right.
That's when I started studying and researching emotional intelligence and communication skills. So does that answer your question? Or?
Yes, sir. And I wanted to touch on something. You said that you were very shy. I was also a shy kid, and in so many ways still am. I was telling Brother James here that, man, I'm my most comfortable when I'm on the microphone. I socialize outside, of radio with people, and I have discussions and conversations and different things like that. But at times I still have difficulty expressing myself. But when it comes to doing radio, this is where I'm my most comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that makes perfect sense. And thanks for sharing that, because if you think about it, that microphone and the studio kind of acts as that boundary, and you're putting on your professional persona.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So maybe it's not you individually. It is you, but you're in your professional role. I can relate to the same thing. I spent 15 years early in my career in New Orleans as a video producer. And it was perfect for a shy person. I was hiding behind that camera.
Yeah.
But I was out there covering events, meeting people. But that camera was like a boundary, and I didn't have to, share as much. And then when I moved up to the big city of Chicago, they said, "Oh, we can get you out from behind that camera, and we want you to start producing conventions," which meant hiring and dealing with hundreds and hundreds of speakers from all over the world. And I told my boss, I'm like, I'm not capable of doing that. I can't do that. And he looked at me. One of the best lessons I've learned in talking about the workplace and emotional intelligence in the workplace, he said, "Yes, you're capable. You just don't know it yet." Okay, so that's belief. He showed belief in me, and so pointing out, if I might, a couple of points about emotional intelligence in the workplace. He had very strong emotional intelligence as a work leader, and if it's okay with you, I'll give a couple of tips for your listeners on that topic.
Yes, please.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So in the workplace, emotional intelligence is essential. It's considered a soft skill. It's considered one of the key I think the number one area of professional development, along with communications, conflict resolution. As far as emotional intelligence, these skills, and again, this is a lifelong learning skill. Okay. I'm still learning and improving myself on it, but in the workplace, it gives us the ability to reduce stress, to recognize, manage, control our emotions. Can't control the emotions in your coworkers, but you can recognize them. And as we talked about boundaries earlier, when to back off, when to talk privately, you never want to lose your cool in the workplace and become a yeller. I've seen executives, CEOs get fired from not having emotional intelligence and being able to control their emotions. It gives you the ability to connect with others, coworkers, using nonverbal communication, if you're shy, like positive body language, good eye contact, the ability to use humor and to play and deal with humor and play to deal with challenges. What do I mean by play in the workplace? That's why companies have so many team building exercises. They'll take their team out on a retreat, go to, do some activities, usually led by some facilitator, or they'll just go out to lunch together. That plays a big role in reducing stress. And then finally, emotional intelligence helps us resolve conflicts positively and with confidence. Good emotional intelligence accounts for over 58% of strong job performances in our careers. Doesn't matter what your job is. And this stat, I think, is fascinating. 90% of high-performing employees that have high EQ, emotional intelligence, and just 20% of low performers are high in EQ. So in other words, you can be highly intelligent and still be a highly productive worker, but if you're low in emotional intelligence, I don't care how smart you are, how talented you are, your chances of success are slim. Finally, last stat, people with strong emotional intelligence make an average of $30,000 a year more than people with low emotional intelligence or can't control their emotions in the workplace. Why? Because those people are getting promotions and things like that. So, unfortunately, a lot of companies cut professional development budgets when the economy's tough, like it is now. They consider it a luxury or not that important. But when companies support their employees with mental health resources and emotional intelligence training, it is the studies show that they have less turnover, they have happier employees, that increases their productivity. And finally, on this topic, I've sat in thousands of meetings, corporate, higher ed, nonprofits. The one that is doing the least talking is always the CEO.
All right, man. So you know what? We got to cut this one short, but it's been a great interview, all right? So I will see you next time, all right?
Okay.
All right.
Might be cut short on the radio, but we're going to get that book out. I want to read this book.
We got to do that.
Right.
We will do a part 2 to this interview, man, soon, okay?
Thank you both. I appreciate it.
All right, man. This has been Conversations with Ryan Richardson on WBOK 1230 AM, streaming worldwide on WBOK1230.com. James, any positive words of encouragement, quickly?
Find God. Find God, and God, no matter what you're going through, no matter what low point you think you are, there's nothing lower than what Jesus Christ is going through.
All right, man. I will see you guys same time, same place, same bad channel next week. Brother Debo, thank you.
Love you, brother.
All right, man. See you next week. Peace.
WBOK online at WBOK1230.com.